All right, KMR, and we are back with some BRAP. Or in most cases with the Renesis, a lack thereof BRAP. But if you're familiar with the channel, this is a project from about a year and a half, 2 years ago. We built a Renesis engine with GSLSE RX8 housings, which I had done in the past with Mazda tricks and for some customers, and we always had success with them, but there was always questions about the build, what components we used, and how we configured the engines. So we put one together, and I know for a long time I've said I want to put it in something, I need to find a chassis, and I think that's been one of the reasons the project got shelved in regards to going further than the build, actually, completing the build and showcasing the performance. I've only ever built turbocharged versions, and we've had great success with those. Mazda Tricks won a class championship with one of these motors in turbocharged configuration, and I see more and more being used naturally aspirated. I still like the configuration of having all the ports, although I can say that I now have seen a few individuals run this engine configuration with just the RX7 ports. So Renesis upper intake porting, RX7 lower ports, and simply blocking off the Renesis ports with an exhaust manifold. Now, I'm still more for trying to push unique performance opportunities with this configuration. One of the reasons is if you simply block off the Renesis exhaust ports and run it as a 6-port intake upper with RX7 exhaust, you've basically reinvented the 1986 to 1991 US spec naturally aspirated RX7 motor. And we already know that works. I mean, we kind of based a lot of our racing and SCCA, Mazda Tricks builds, and the premise of this engine on that already existing knowledge. So if you're wondering if that works, yes, it works. It's basically reinventing an RX7 motor. But one of the fundamental principles that we've been working with in this configuration is if you're just using a street port on your upper 6-port configuration, and you're allowing for a lot more exhaust flow on the bottom exhaust porting configuration, you have an engine that has the capability of flowing air like a bridge port or like a peripheral port, but it doesn't have that type of timing. So a motor that's capable of moving a lot of air without aggressive port timing and overlap. Now, this runs into complications, and I think one of the big issues with this motor setup in an RX8 chassis with OEM computer, with OEM intake, is as you increase your volume of airflow in the upper and lower portions of this block, you would also need to increase the volume and potential flow through your intake manifold, throttle body, and exhaust system. And I don't see that generally getting accomplished. And so one of my theories is that the intake and throttle body is a stalling point or already optimized point from Mazda, meaning we aren't able to get more air through there unless we're forcing it through. And that could be one of the reasons why when you just strap one of these motors in, along with a lot of reasons why you're not able to just generate more power in stock RX8 configuration. It actually makes sense why you actually get a little less power because your airflow velocity is probably less, meaning the motor would need to spin faster or be able to get air in and out faster than it currently can do. And we all know that Mazda really did do quite a good job engineering this motor for optimal performance in its OEM configuration in the RX8 chassis. Unlike the RX7 motors where you could easily extract more power, the Renesis motor is just harder to extract power. So I want to, and I think I'm finally going to get to, try to run this configuration, the multi-port GSLSE Renesis engine configuration, hopefully both naturally aspirated and boosted, and we're going to get some data on what it's capable of. My hope is that it can simply make a peak horsepower that's greater than the stock RX8 engine horsepower is generally. And there's a range of numbers. So hey, comment below. Let me know what everybody is seeing in different Renesis configurations. I kind of already have numbers from our data sources, but I'd love to see what everybody's potentially getting, what they're seeing in basic Renesis configuration, naturally aspirated. And then we're going to see if we can potentially beat those numbers. And I am not going to run the OEM intake manifolding system. I'm going right to rotary racing fundamentals. Obviously, this is a good system. It's got amazing pulse reversion and dynamic control to optimize what Mazda was trying to do. I'm going to get rid of all of that in lieu for more throttle body, more CFM up top, and the potential to get that more CFM into the motor. I'm going to spin it to 10,000 RPM. We're going to hopefully have a good exhaust system, and we're going to be able to get that air moving through the motor. I am going to run a Haltech. We're going to go standalone ECU. And I really hope we're able to achieve something good, because I've always believed that this configuration has a lot of potential. And then after that, I don't see why we couldn't boost it. I've already got a lot of the stuff laying around, and I know they work good boosted, so I think we'll get to do that. So please comment below. Let me know what the current questions are regarding these configurations. We kind of now know they run. We've seen different configurations out there. We're not seeing them make more than stock horsepower yet. But I think there's a lot of potential. And we're going to try to find that potential. So let me know what you're thinking. We're going to follow this up very shortly, and I'll let everybody know what car or chassis we're putting this in. And I hope to have the throttle body configuration showing up soon as well. So that's a wrap. Simultaneously, while building new drift car, getting ready for 7 stock, wrapping up some customer projects, why not break this project out, have some fun on the channel? I don't know any better. It's all about the brap. That's a wrap.